Hello everyone, we're going to learn about absolute value equations. Absolute value is the distance from zero. It will always be positive. What if I told you I'm thinking of a number whose absolute value is 5? Those numbers are going to be 5 and negative 5. Absolute value of 5 will be 5. Absolute value of negative 5 will be also 5. So the number 5 and negative 5 both have absolute value 5. So what if we solve an equation with absolute value? Absolute value of x equals 5. What are the values for x? X can be 5 or negative 5. So you have two answers for x. They both have absolute value 5. What about absolute value of x plus 2 equals 5? You're going to have two set up, one with the positive, one with the negative. First setup, you're going to have x plus 2 equals positive 5. The second setup is x plus 2 equals negative 5. So let's solve for the first one. Minus 2 on each side, x equals 3. Second setup, minus 2 on each side, x equals negative 7. So you have two answers for this, positive 3 and negative 7. And let me show you why that is. We're going to use substitution and prove that. If x equals 3, if I plug in 3 here, 3 plus 2 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Let's plug in negative 7, which is our second answer. If this was negative 7 plus 2 will be negative 5, but absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So we have two answers, 3 and negative 7. Let's solve the next problem. Absolute value of 3x minus 2 equals 10. We're going to have two setups. First setup is we're going to remove the absolute value and write 3x minus 2 equals 10. And then we're going to solve for x. Second setup will be same thing, but we're going to have negative 10. One with the positive, one with the negative. So let's solve the first one. We're going to add 2 on each side. 3x equals 12 divided by 3, x equals 4. The next setup, we're going to add 2 on each side again. Negative 10 plus 2 will be negative 8. Divided by 3. X equals negative 8 over 3. So we have two answers. X equals 4, x equals negative 8 over 3. I want you to pause the video and I want you to try the next problem. Absolute value of negative x plus 2 equals 4. And then I want you to check. Pause the video. Please check your answers. You have two x value. X is negative 2, x is positive 6. here are two problems. First thing you need to remember is to move everything to the other side before you making the equal sign, positive and negative answers. So this means you're going to look at 2 and you're going to move that to the other side before you solve for x. So this needs to be over here by doing inverse. So you need to minus 2 on each side, get rid of this, and then you're going to do 6 minus 2 first. And then you're going to bring down the inequality sign, and then you're going to solve from there. So there are two setups for this. First setup is 5x plus 6 equals 4. Second setup will be 5x plus 6 equals negative 4. Go ahead and pause the video and solve for x. My answers are negative 2 over 5 and negative 2. Please check your answers. Let's do the next problem together. First thing you need to do is move this to the other side. So inverse of positive 3 will be negative 3. And get rid of this and move to the other side. So we're going to bring down this negative sign. And then we're going to do negative 2 minus 3, which is negative 5. Now, here, you have to understand that you have to get rid of this negative sign in front of absolute value. So put a 1. Invisible negative 1. And you're going to divide each side by negative 1. And here, because this is times. So you need to eliminate that negative sign. So you're going to write 3x minus 5 absolute value equals negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. And you're going to use this to solve the problem. Please pause the video and solve for x from here. You need two answers for x. One with the positive 5 setup, one with the negative 5 setup. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video. Let's go over the answers. First setup should be 3x minus 5 equals 5. Second setup should be 3x minus 5 equals negative 5. You're going to add 5 on each side. 3x equals 10. Divided by 3 on each side. The answer for the first setup should be 10 over 3. The second setup, you're going to add 5 on each side. 3x equals 0. You're going to divide each side by 3. X equals 0. We're going to do similar problems, but this one does not have absolute value sign. It just practice 2x plus 5 equals 3 minus 6 equals negative 7. Just like absolute value, you move everything to the other side before you're dealing with fractions. So what you're going to do is move this to the other side. You're going to add 6 on both sides. 2x plus 5 equals over 3 equals negative 7 plus 6, which is negative 1. And you're going to multiply each side by 3 to get rid of fraction. So you need to multiply each side by 3, and then you're going to do 2x plus 5 equals negative 3, and you solve for x. Minus 5 on each side. 2x equals negative 8 divided by 2. X equals negative 4. So basically, just like absolute value, you need to move negative 6 to the other side and then get rid of the fraction. We're going to skip this problem and then we're going to go to this. Problem 3. Negative 2 absolute value 3x plus 5 equals negative 28. So this problem, we're going to first get rid of negative 2. So this is times. So you're going to divide each side by -2, and you're going to get rid of this, and you just want absolute value on the left side. So we're going to divide -28 divided by -2. So absolute value of 3x plus 5 equals, we're going to do positive 14, because -28 divided by -2 is positive 14. And then we're going to solve for x from here. So we're going to have two set up, one with the positive, one with the negative. So the first setup should be 3x plus 5 equals 14. Second setup should be 3x plus 5 equals -14. So we're going to subtract 5 on each side. 3x equals 9 divided by 3, x equals 3. The second setup, we're going to minus 5. 3x equals -19 divided by 3. X equals -19 over 3. So you have two answers here. I'm going to show you a problem. It's not on your notes. 2x plus 1 absolute value equals -5. This one is not solvable. The answer for this is no solution, because you cannot have an absolute value of something equals negative. Absolute value of something equals has to be this number, has to be positive. So this is not positive, so the answer is no solution. So if you have a problem like this, x plus 6 absolute value equals -1, the answer for this is no solution, because absolute value of something cannot be equal to negative. Thank you for watching the video.